He knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you want to know, it's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for all things Miami Dolphins. They are the football kings, cause they play to win. Come on in and have some fun, whether we have lost or we have won. For all things Miami, it's Dolphins Thursday.
Hello, Miami Dolphins fans. Little technical difficulties to get going here today. I'm on a brand new laptop, learning on the go, but we're always here to talk about the Miami Dolphins, of course. I went out to training camp the past 2 days, and as you can see, I got esteemed co-host today. Both of them are super. Since Steve Mahoy, I'm letting him be in the captain's seat for right now. Steve, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I guess you see what I sent you the temperatures here in Houston, Texas today, and for the rest of the week is going to be over 100 degrees each of those days. So it's hot.
Yeah. Hey, South Florida's been hot. Not that temperature hot, but South Florida's been baking.
I've
Tomorrow
heard.
at this time, I'll be in Atlanta, Georgia, hitting the road tomorrow for an good old-fashioned road trip. And then on Wednesday, we'll be watching a Major League Baseball game. And we got lucky, Ohtani. We've had the tickets, and it just got announced that Ohtani is going to be pitching that day. So that is cool. And with no
Awesome.
further ado after that, before Hank, I see you're wearing your new Dolphin drip. But how are you today, Hank?
I'm doing good. I'm doing great, as a matter of fact. Anytime training camp's going on, I start to get excited. You know what I mean? I'm going to go down there the afternoon of the 3rd, and then I'm going to watch on Friday. It's Members Day or something. I don't know what Members Day is. I don't know what Members Day is, but that's what I'm going to go see on Friday.
It's for season ticket holders only for Members Day. So.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm going to go do.
Yeah.
So.
And off the topic before we start talking good hardcore Miami Dolphin football stuff, your car got some attention on the TV, it sounds like, or someone tweeted out, and your Corvette was seen out there in the wild, as you called it. I think that's pretty cool, Hank. Your car.
Yeah, that's fun. I like it when people do that. They catch me out there. You know what I mean? It's kind of fun. Yeah, it's kind of like playing tag a little bit.
Tomorrow, Cap for Life is going to be out there. So that's cool, Cap. You're going to have to keep everyone updated. I'll be on the road tomorrow. It was packed yesterday. It's the most I've ever seen it packed. Joe Rose on the radio, his show this morning, saying, "Oh my goodness, I've never seen a training camp so full." It was busy today, but not as full as yesterday. Yesterday, it took forever because they screen everyone coming in, make sure you don't have weapons, make sure you don't have bags, make sure you're not carrying your bird feeder there, Hank. So it's all good.
Hey, come on. You don't think I'd do that, do you?
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, if I'm nothing else, I'm a law-abiding citizen.
Yeah, okay? Yes, you are, man. You're a proud veteran too. So thank you for your service.
No, thank you for your service to us.
Well, thank you too. So, Steve, before we talk about our practice that we've seen, I hear you're going to be eyeballs out when the Dolphins travel over to Houston. You've got tickets to see them practice. So I'm sure you're looking for that. You haven't seen live Dolphins for a long time being over there in Houston.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that. It should be exciting. I have tickets for I tried to get them on my birthday, which was August 16th, but they're out of them. So I had to go to the 17th practice. It's going to be a joint practice, of course, with the Miami Dolphins. So I'm looking forward to that, man. I really am. I haven't seen the Dolphins in a while, so it ought to be a good time.
Fins up, Scotty. Fins up, Cap. Thanks for
you park right there, kind of where the stadium is. I mean, you literally see the stadium right there, but you go down, I think it's 199th, and you turn off there. It's the only exit for training camp that they would. There's big signs telling you where to park, flashing training camp, because you don't go where the stadium regular parking is. There's only one entrance they let you in, and you actually drive on the racetrack where they have the F1 racing, and you drive over there, and then you park in that area. So it's easy. You see if you're planning.
Maybe Mr. Ross will let me take a lap.
Yeah, no, I sent pictures. I sent a picture to Steve from training camp today, and I showed him how close the stadium is to the practice facility. I mean, it's right there. So it's really cool.
Hmm.
But anyway, that's another thing that Steve and I talked about. The training camp. It is so funny. Hey, DG Live. Hey, if you ever want to come in tonight, DG, just give me the holler and I can send you a link. But it's really cool though, and it's like Steve and I talk about, like, it's so funny. No matter which way, you can say it reverse of how I'm going to say it, or you can say it, the way I'm going to say it. So say if a guy has a great practice, and then but then the person that doesn't like that player so much will say it's only practice. Then the very next day, that same practice, that same player has a bad practice, and he's like, that same person is like, "Oh, he sucks. He's horrible. Did you see him at practice today?" So it's like, it's so funny how fans spin practice. Yeah,
Yeah.
I find it so funny. And Steve brought that up. He did it more now. I tried to do the positive, right? But he would say how people would say, "Oh, that guy." If someone's saying someone sucks, player A, we don't want any. We all know who basically what player we're talking about. Let's just say QB1 is having a bad day, then people will only say it's practice. But then on the other side, if he goes out and throws dimes all day at the next practice, everyone's saying, "Oh, QB1's ready, man. He's going to lead us to the Super Bowl." The same guys that were saying it's only practice. So it's all fun how we love to
Well,
overanalyze every throw that comes out in camp.
well, I call our fan base not bipolar, tripolar,
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's probably
tripolar.
true. That is probably true. But if we just focus on the Dolphin fan base, which all you Dolphin fans actually are a big fins up from me. And if you have a minute, throw a laser pass at the thumbs up. And if you're brand new to the channel here, make sure you tackle like a Kristen Wilkins tackle onto that subscribe button and join part of the team and family here. But no, you're right, Steve. But I think every fan base, because I'm unrelated
Oh
baseball
yeah,
team that's not even a local fan base. My team's
right.
outside the market, and they're just as crazy. So I think every city's crazy about their teams, and it's just like, we just focus on the Dolphins being traded. But I'm sure if you went out there right now in Jets land, the Jet fans are all crazy about their team and you know change their mind from one minute to the next. Like we're going to be hearing. Oh,
Well,
now I switched over.
There we
Sorry,
go.
Steve. I
Now,
took the captain seat.
no, no, no. I feel better now. I feel better
I,
now. I
you
feel more
know, Steve,
comfortable.
I was thinking the same thing. I feel better now too.
Well, tomorrow night before, and then I'll let you say your thing. But tomorrow night, Steve, you will be in the captain's seat, and then with Bobby in the background. He's the producer of the show, but he'll be
Mm-hmm.
letting you, I'm sure, have the captain's seat tomorrow on your
Mm-hmm.
show. And where can they
Yep.
find your show tomorrow night?
Oh, you can find Real Talk Fins Talk on the Fins Talk Sports Network. Usually, you are my guest host on that show at 6:30, 6:30 Central
Your
Time,
time,
7:30
7:30
Eastern
Eastern.
Standard
Yep,
Time.
yep,
But
exactly.
tomorrow night you will be on the road, so I will be missing you for sure. But our founder and producer Bobby Melendez will be my guest host tomorrow night.
No, hey, that's always a good thing. So Hank, you're going to roll down, like you said, coming down Friday for the practice, so you're going to enjoy that. Are you bringing that Corvette?
Yes, of course
Oh,
I am. How
you're
else am
going to
I going
be,
to roll down there?
of course, man. You are going to be the guy that everyone's looking at as you enter. So,
No,
DG,
I'm
yeah,
not going to be the guy that everybody's
yeah,
looking at.
your
Everybody's
car.
going to be looking at the car. Trust me.
Yeah, exactly. They won't
Has
care about the
nothing
guy
to
that.
do with me.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, DG, he was out at camp yesterday. I don't know if he was out there
Mhm.
today, but he was out there with me yesterday, and he said it was packed. So, DG, if you're still in here, give me what you think the first couple of days. Like thumbs up on offense, thumbs down on offense, and same with defense. But but yes, there were some good plays. Today when I went out there, Raheem Mozart was wearing the orange jersey, meaning he was like got the best practice the day before. Whoever deemed that, coach's staff and all that. So it was cool to see him out there because we really know we need to do that
Ooh,
running game.
ooh, is
So
that our indicator?
yeah, could be, man. He had
Is
that
that
big
our
bait.
indicator we've been
Yeah.
waiting on? Is that the little orange flag we've been waiting for
Hey,
to
it
let
could
us
be.
know
I
what's
do
going
think
on?
it. Yeah, I think he. Yeah, I like that red, orange flag. And then Trill Williams, for whatever reason, did not participate in practice today. He was in a
Mhm.
red jersey, and other than the
Yeah.
quarterbacks, when you're in a red jersey, it means you're out there, but you're not practicing.
And Jeff Wilson too, correct?
Yeah, Jeff Wilson
Jeff
too. So
Wilson, and
good news though is Teron Armstead has
yes.
been activated.
Hmm.
Isaiah Wynn has been activated. So that should
Good.
help our offensive line over the next few days start catching up. But historically, the defense seems to be oh, hey, he's giving it 2 thumbs up on both sides. So that is good. I think he actually said he sat near Omar Kelly, if that's the Omar. He said he sat near Omar, he told me, and I'm assuming it's Omar Kelly, but I'm not sure. So
Hmm.
so that's pretty cool. And then Hank, have you seen any of the footage coming out of the camp that that they dropped, like the Tua pass and the Mike White pass to Waddle yesterday?
Yeah, I saw those. I saw those. They were nice.
Yeah, no, they
Those were
were really
nice.
yeah. And Cam Smith is kicking butt. Cam Smith is, you know, yes, you're right, Scotty, because he was doing drills, but he was not in shoulder pads or anything. Trill Williams, he was just in the red jersey, and he did do like the stretching and he did the ball drills, but when they went to contact stuff, he was on the sideline. So that is true. And then yes, and Teron Armstead basically practiced when he wants. That is true. That's how it was all last year. So that is good to have him back. But yeah, I like it, man. You like this good stuff coming out. I know there's we're gonna talk a little bit about it. Steve and stuff were saying, and Mike White himself said when they interviewed him, I mean, when they signed him to the contract, there was no talk about him being guaranteed the number 2 spot. So he's came in here knowing he may have to battle, and that's what it seems like it's shaping up to be. And so, what's your take on? I know you're more of a Skylar person, Hank. I know for sure. Steve, I don't know exactly where he's at. Hank, I know you like Skylar Thompson.
Yes,
So,
sir. I like Skyler. I mean, if I had to, pick, I would want Skyler to excel over White, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. He's also
right, of
been
course.
on this team for a year with this offense. I don't know how much White is coming in and picking it up because everybody made it sound like it was really hard to pick up this offense. So having somebody that's been under it 2 years, I like a little better than somebody that's just coming in. But that's just me.
Yeah, that's what I think. And I think Hank. I mean, I think Steve, you might stand on that same stance, but
Uh,
I'm not.
yes,
Or you
yes.
just
I definitely like Skylar Thompson. I think he has more of an upside. I've been saying that for a long time. But from the information that I've been getting, is Skylar Thompson had a good day today. He was probably the best quarterback out there today. He's got the lead over Mike White, and I listened to Skylar Thompson in an interview after practice, and he was saying he's not concerned so much on the mechanics of his game this year, and that he felt very relaxed out there on the field. It's his second year in the system, as Hank said, and he said that the language or the playbook is coming a lot more easier for him this year. He's been there, that year picking it all up. Yeah, all of the first year, last year for him, it was mainly just learning the system and working on his mechanics. This year he's not working so much on the mechanics. He feels more comfortable. He's working more on reading the defenses and getting the ball out there a lot quicker than he did last year.
yeah,
Yeah,
no,
I,
that's
I I I really like this kid a lot. I mean, like Steve was saying, there's a lot of potential there. You got to look at where we picked him up, and if he has that much
Right.
potential where we picked him
Right.
up, let the kid fly if something goes wrong. Let him go out there and see what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
He did, considering what he was under, the pressure he was under last year. Nobody expected this kid to be playing. Nobody,
no, no, and
nobody.
he
Uh,
ends up playing in a playoff game up in Buffalo and held his own for the most part. I mean, kept the
yeah,
team within reason in the game. It wasn't like a blowout like we were all. I really thought the Dolphins were going to go there and get blown out last. And I'm the most optimistic Dolphin fan almost on the planet. I'm a homer. I'd be accused of. That's why Steve and I on Real Talk, balance each other out because I try to be positive and he talks how it is. He's not a negative guy, but he just calls it like he sees it. And I always
that's
try
me
to,
and
well,
Bobby. That's
yeah,
me and
exactly.
Bobby.
That's like
Mm-hmm.
you and Bobby together. Yes,
Yeah, you
exactly.
need, you
So,
need that yin. You need that yin and yang.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
you do. But the one thing, if anyone went out there, DG Live, if he's still in here, will agree with this. Cam Smith has been balling. He balled yesterday, and he
Mhm.
was out there balling
Mhm.
again today. This kid, you can
Mhm.
see why we drafted him with our
Mhm.
first pick. Yes, it wasn't in the first round, but in this, we can see why we used our top pick of this year's draft to take this kid. And then with Ramsey getting hurt, just more proof that you can never have enough defensive backs. So he's
Yeah.
balling out. Too early to give any reviews on Eli yet, but yes, see, he agrees. He's been balling out. The kid looks really good. Yes, I know it's early in camp, but man, he was covering these people step for step. And Cater Kohu looks incredible out there too.
Really?
Yeah, he looks.
I like hearing all that. I
Yeah, so
love
they
hearing all
both
that.
look really, really good. And it's
Mhm.
just like, the offense has been a little behind, I agree, because there would have been some would-be sacks today. Like Phillips almost went untouched into and if and Tua was the one that happened to be in. I mean, if it was been a game, Tua would have been blown up by Jalen Phillips because he was in
Oh,
there that fast, and he just went to the side, and Tua stood through the ball to Tyreek Hill. But the fans didn't even go all that crazy because Tyreek made a great game, but we all knew that we were like, oh my God, Tua would have been killed on that play. So
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Phillips just ran in with his hands up like that, saying, "Hey, I would have got you,"
Mhm.
So it was so he got a lot of good pressure. So
Mhm.
yes,
yeah,
I agree, PG on that one. Cam
yeah, I
Smith is
agree too.
yeah,
Well, what I've been hearing is, and what I've actually seen on live coverage, uh, is Cam Smith is doing a great job out there. I wish he would intercept the ball though. There's one of them, a couple of them. I think he missed, right, Rob,
yeah,
on
it's
the
like I
interceptions.
say,
I mean,
but
it's
hey,
great that
he's making plays on the ball
yeah, yeah,
instead of playing the
absolutely,
person, and that will
absolutely,
come with time, man. And
yeah,
they say he's like really trying to, and Cater Kohu, both of them are always
yeah,
going, even though now Ramsey's hurt and stuff, but they
uh-huh,
go up to Xavier and they say, "Oh, did I do anything wrong? Did I take a
mm-hmm,
misstep? Did I play the ball wrong?" And they would go through
mm-hmm,
and actually look at it on film again and say,
mm-hmm.
"Oh, you could have taken this route. You could have done that."
Well,
So it sounds like we got two kids that really
yep,
want to ball
and
out there, and they
and
seem
and
like
here's
gamers.
and here's who I've been observing good things is David Long, our linebacker, has been awesome. He had like
Yes.
a half a dozen tackles and two of them behind the line today.
Yeah,
I
they said
mean,
he's
that
been
guy's
balling
flying
out
all over the place. I mean, that's a
there. Yeah.
great
I
pickup.
read something along those lines. What you just said, Steve,
Yeah,
about.
he's been flying all over the place on that field. He's
I
the
just
real
Um,
hope he
deal.
stays healthy. That's all I
yeah,
care about. He needs
Exactly,
to
yeah.
that's
stay
the concern.
healthy.
Mhm.
I'm going back to one of Scotty's earlier comments, hearing so much great stuff about defense already. Fangio is notorious for great first year improvements, and I agree. I do
Yeah.
believe we have been doing better. WVU,
Uh
baby, let's go.
yeah,
That's just
I
West
think I
Virginia.
think that I think that zone defense that they're playing,
Yeah.
and changing the coverage up, right when after the ball is snapped, has really helped these rookies and helped especially Cam Smith, but also Cater Koo. It seems like they're picking up this defense honestly pretty quick. Playing the zone and changing the covers up. So it looks like it's benefiting the younger guys in the defensive backfield.
So hey, I agree. Hey, that's a possible trivia right there question then about David Long. I mean, I always like asking what colleges people. Scotty's giving me material for my future Dolphin trivia. But yes, Steve, I agree with you, man. And it's just, it's going to be good. I think the defense but historically, and you guys know this, it's like, the normally in baseball too, like, it's certain positions come in a little more ready to go than after a whole
Hmm.
off season.
Hmm.
And it's just like this. I think defense is a little more because the offense is, still implementing, even though it's the second year in the offense, you're still implementing new stuff, some new
Hmm.
players in it.
Yep.
So, and it's, of course, they're implementing on the defense, but I think some of the defensive concepts are easier to grasp than some of the offensive of McDaniel. So, that could be a factor as why the defense is balling out right now.
Hmm. Well, I heard today that it was the balance. Like the first half, it was the defense, or I might have it mixed up. I don't remember either. I think it was the first half. The defense was great, and then the second half, the offense came alive. Does that sound about right, Rob?
Yeah, it does. And full confession, I had to leave a little early today because my wife started
Mhm.
feeling a little lightheaded, and last thing I wanted to do was, risk being out there, but going on a long road trip and stuff. And she just saw, I said, you know what? There's no reason. It's not like we paid big bucks to get in. Why don't we we leave? So I missed some of the drills today. I got most of the early stuff, most of the passing drills and all that. But yeah, for the most part, I agree with you that it's looking good. Sorry, Hank, for leaving you. Anything you want to chime in on, feel free to,
No, I
chime
want to
in.
do I want to do a cheap plug for myself, though.
Oh, of course. I forgot to get to you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's
Plug
all right.
away.
I would just wait until things settled down. You guys were a little excited about
I
training
know we
camp,
were. We
and,
would.
and you don't want me to let you fail with your excitement. I'd rather see you guys blow it up than me interrupt.
You never interrupt. You're always good.
You're good,
I
Hank.
try
You're
not
good.
to, but sooner or later I'm going to say, "Hey, whoa, 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 whoa."
I believe you. So
No,
anyway,
but
plug away,
cheap
sir.
plug. Thursday night, 8 p.m. Finn's Bandwagon. Myself with Evan will be on at 8 p.m. So catch us.
Oh,
And what
absolutely.
network is that, Steve?
That's a
Finns
Finns
Talk
Talk
Sports Network, baby.
That's right. It's the Finns Talk Sports Network that you can catch us on. And I'm also on Saturdays at noon
Yes, on the
with
same network.
Bobby, the man.
Scotty, I don't know how old you are, but Fulton Walker went to West Virginia back in the day. He's since passed away, but he returned the Super Bowl 98-yard kickoff return, and he was a West Virginia person I know too. So there are some. I think Mike White went there, but I don't think we want to. Not Mike White, Pat White. I
Pat
don't think
White.
we want
That's
to.
right.
Yeah, I don't think we want to talk
Yeah.
about him too much. So, but Fulton
Yeah.
Walker was a former West Virginia guy, so that's cool. But anyway, guys, both of you put on great shows, and Bobby has a great network over there, so you're always free to promote it. He lets me talk about Dolphins Thirsty on his network all the time, so I gotta return the Dolphin favor and give him a fins up, thumbs up. So now moving along, Kristen Wilkins the day before yesterday, he was
Ooh.
blowing it up the Saturday. It wasn't open on Friday. The Friday before it was open to the public because they were
Hmm.
off Saturday. Friday, from all reports I was reading, they say he just looked like an MVP out there, which could be, like Steve pointed out, could be because our offensive line is so bad. He got, like, what was it, 4 sacks or something?
Something like
I mean,
that. Yeah. But
yeah,
I
I got
hope
to.
our offensive line isn't that bad.
Well, Hank,
yeah,
Hank,
I
I got
know.
some good news and I've got some bad news.
Oh, what's that?
Well, the first thing I want to say is they have been they've been playing musical chairs with the offensive line. Everybody's been cross training on different positions out on the offensive line.
Right
But
on.
but the bad news is Austin Jackson has been getting abused. He's just been getting
Oh.
abused, been getting beat up all these practices. The good news is Kendall Lamb, the 8-year vet that we had from last year and this year. He didn't have the first few practices. He wasn't showing much, but especially today, he was lighting it up. He was holding his own. He actually put Bradley Chubb on his butt. So
Whoa.
that's a good sign.
Well,
Yeah,
today
that's
was
a
the first
real
day they
good
were in
sign. I
shoulder
love hearing
pads.
Where they
that.
were in pads, right? Exactly. So hey, some people play better in pads than they do when they're out of pads. You
Yeah.
never know. So
It is
Yeah,
practice,
it is
like
practice.
you say,
Yeah,
preseason's right around the corner, though, isn't it?
that's correct.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, for sure.
The pads will be on then, won't it?
Yeah,
Damn
no,
right.
that's for sure. Scotty, I'm also hearing the same thing about Lamb.
I
And
can't wait. I'm getting so excited and pumped up for this season, fellas. I can't express, how pumped up I am. I'm ready to explode. We've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and the time is finally coming.
Yeah.
Little
Yeah,
preseason action. I'm gonna go down and watch the Atlanta Falcons, I guess, this year. I don't usually watch preseason, but like I said, I'm moving to a different spot, so I got to go look at where I need to go when game day comes, because
Yeah.
I don't do all the way out in the back end of the parking lot too good.
Hey,
I like
yeah,
to be early and get a spot,
Yeah, oh yeah, if you want to get there yesterday, man, it was so packed. I was there what I thought was early, but it was late because there was like so many people. Today I got there at the same time and I walked right in with no issues. So because
Wow.
it starts at 10:45 technically. The Miami Dolphin website would say 10:30, but the practices really start at 10:45. I got there like yesterday at 10:15 thinking, "Oh, that's like 30 minutes." It was so long. We got it. They were already just starting the drills by the time we finally got our butts in a seat, and it was so packed. It was crazy.
Wow.
Today, I said, "Oh, I'm getting there," and I got there at 10:15. Thinking, "Oh my God, I'm going to be the same." Walked right in, no issues, nothing.
Well,
Did you
And
well,
have some shade?
yeah, it's covered. The whole thing's covered. Where you're gonna, as a fan, you sit, it's all covered.
This is
So
my
it's nice.
first time going there, so
You're gonna have
well,
a yeah, it's all covered, man. You're gonna be in shade and you're gonna be fine. Very comfortable seats and everything.
oh,
So
excellent.
yeah, you'll have no problem there. It's gonna be good. You
Right
know,
good
on.
stuff.
Austin, he says
Well,
that he's been reading that Austin Jackson's getting bullied.
yeah, he's getting bullied. He's getting bullied. But I was gonna say I'll be going to the Houston practice on August 17th. They're telling me. I asked the guy, the coordinator there. He said, you better get here about 7 o'clock or 7:30, or you're not going to get a covered seating area.
Right.
And I'm
Yeah.
definitely going to get a covered seating area, 110 to 112 degrees
Oh,
out.
no, you better get out there
Yeah,
early, man. You're gonna be there from the
yeah,
minute they open the gate because I'm telling
exactly.
at the Dolphin facility, it's all covered. I give them kudos for making a very nice
Hmm.
practice facility in a
Right.
great location right there by the stadium. You literally are in
Nice.
the shadow of Hard Rock Stadium. I mean, it is very, very nice spot. I love it. It was
Hmm.
actually my first time being at this, and I used to go to I went to training camp back when it was held at St. Thomas in Miami Lakes.
Yeah.
I went all the time and it's in the Davy. But how it felt
Hmm.
there is like COVID that took out the practices one year. Then I ended up getting sick for the past couple. Now I'm good. Knock on wood, I'm good. And so now I'm back getting out to be able to do all this stuff, and it's been great.
Amen.
It's a blessing. So I was great to get back out there and be among fellow Dolphin fans, yelling and screaming like a fool. So it's awesome.
You
So
know,
I
it's for me. It's a mixed bag, though, Rob. It's a mixed bag when I get up there because I don't like the people that boo people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that. That to me is like somebody that doesn't have any class. You know what? Lots of people have a bad day. Now, if people jump on Austin Jackson, you might understand that a little bit. But
Well,
yeah,
however,
that's because it's a consistent thing with him. That's
exactly.
why.
Exactly. You might
Mm,
understand that a little bit, but
yeah.
for the younger guys, the guys that are just starting out and all that, I always give them a break. Always give
Oh
them a
yeah.
break.
Yeah.
hey,
You have to have a balance out there, because you're out there to support these folks, You want
yeah,
them to excel, If
Hmm.
they do crappy, they know when they do crappy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Trust me, they know.
oh no, they know, and then if they don't know, it's going to be all over social media, and someone's going to tell them,
Yeah.
"Hey, I heard you had a bad day." So
Well,
Yeah.
I
so
heard I heard
yeah,
Butch Berry, the offensive
offensive line coach,
line
yeah,
coach Butch Berry, the rookie Hayes had a holding call on him, and they're saying that and I didn't actually see this, but they're saying that
right, yeah,
Butch
it was
Berry
reported, yeah,
got in his face, and was telling him, "Hey man, you can't be doing that. That was a hold." He got in his face, so that's
yeah,
a good thing.
yeah, yeah, because they neglected a nice pass to Waddle and stuff. So
Right, right. That's what I heard.
Letting them know, you
yeah,
can't
Yeah,
be
no, I
playing
like
absolutely.
that.
around
That's what you
anymore.
need, man. That's what Steve likes that stuff. Not like,
I
oh,
love it.
next time, you got to do
You'll
it
be
this way.
gone.
He's telling them, yeah, next time that's good. So I like that.
That was
Anyway,
good
if
stuff.
anyone's in here, I dropped the link if you guys want to join now. And since we're about halfway through the show, DG, you an extra set of eyes that was out there yesterday. We would love to hear your take on the goings on who's hot and who's not. So we shall see. But overall, I think the defense is looking really good. But then you could swing it around saying the offense isn't looking that good. But they have hit because Tua did throw a beautiful pass to Hill yesterday. Mike White threw a beautiful pass to Waddle where he dropped it in on tight coverage, but he somehow managed to get the ball dropped right into Waddle. It was a beautiful pass. And like you said, Skylar Thompson, he's also thrown some beautiful passes. Blackman's like the fourth string guy. He's gotten some throws, but he's not getting much stuff. Okay, guys, we are going to be
Well,
joined
I
by
heard
DG Live.
I what I heard was Skylar Thompson got most of the well, he did. He got most of the snaps today. And
Right.
then the other day was Mike White got a little few more snaps than Thompson did. So
Yeah.
there's a battle out there. There's a battle out there between
DG.
those two. DG
What's going
Live,
on?
what's up?
What's
How
going
you
Hey,
on,
doing,
good
guys?
man?
DG.
I'm
And
great.
before
I'm
we get
great.
before we get going, tell people where they can find you and all the videos that you're doing.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's DG. I just came from work, so I'm sorry I couldn't be here earlier, but you could find me at DG Live on Twitter, Instagram, and also on YouTube.
And like I always like to say, have an extra E on live for your excellent work.
Yes,
So you
yes,
got
yes,
that
yes.
extra E. So now, and since you've heard us talk, you were out there yesterday.
hmm
So who's like, give me your positives and your like, oh, I'm a little worried take from yesterday that your eyeballs actually saw.
I feel like everything looked pretty good to me. There wasn't like anything that really stood out. The linebackers, I didn't really see nothing, but from what I heard today, like the linebackers did good. I watched all the press conferences. I heard Jerome Baker talking about him and David Long are like similar players, tall, fast. But why can't Jerome Baker play like David Long? It makes no sense to me.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah. Eh,
so
yeah.
so I seen that. Who else press conference I seen? Um I forgot the rest, but yeah. But for the most part, the only thing I was really worried about was the linebackers. They solved that. I was looking at Channing Tindall yesterday,
Oh
and
yeah.
yeah, it looked like he bulked up for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah.
bulked up. I'm not saying that's gonna help him play good or not. I'm not saying that, but I feel like we got a pretty good linebacking core. Duke Riley, David Long, Jerome Baker. It's not the best linebacking core, but it's good enough. And I kind of see the similarities with the 49ers defense. They always getting fast linebackers, good linebackers that could cover. So I'm guessing we're implementing that into the Miami Dolphins defense with
Yeah.
Duke Riley,
Yep.
David Long and Jerome Baker.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody saying Jerome Baker is bad, but I remember a time in high school, Jerome Baker played quarterback, receiver, running back.
How
So
about Van Ginkel? They brought him back.
yeah, Ben Ginkle, Vic Fangio would have brought him back if he didn't think he could play inside linebacker. So
Yeah.
if we ever end up losing David Long, the injuries, I feel like we'll still be okay.
Hmm.
You know,
That's what
I'm
I'm
hoping.
worried
I
about. That's
I
what I
also
had mentioned earlier, the injuries.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
also heard that Channing Tindall has been playing with the first string.
Yeah, I seen him with
Yeah.
some rest, but I watched McDaniel's press conference,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of like they're doing it on purpose. They're gonna put
Right.
the bottom string people against the first string, so you could try to pick out the players that you think is doing well. Then that's when you try to elevate them. So I think that was the case. It wasn't nothing about him being the actual starter.
Right. Right.
Right.
That
I
I
think
think that's smart. That's a smart way to do it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I
No,
noticed that because it be random times where you see Tyreek Hill on the field, but he going against a UDFA. Then
Right.
you
yeah.
see Xavier Howard, he's going against Chris Coleman or
Mm-hmm.
Daywood Davis.
Mm-hmm.
They just trying to they're just trying to pick out like the competition, like who's gonna perform better against competition.
Right.
Yeah, no,
So
and George DG, you'd be happy to know that Izukama, I always mess it up. Easy, you all know who I'm talking about. He had a
mhm.
really nice
Easy
play
E.
today. So yeah, Easy.
I
There you
saw
go.
that. I saw that.
He
That
had
was
a
a good.
really
That was a
nice
great
play
catch.
today,
That was a
and
really good catch.
yeah, no,
um
it was, and that is, I know, DG's pick. That's who he would want to be wide receiver three. He's not saying he is going to be, but that's who he would hope would be wide receiver three. A young guy stepping up, someone that you could count on for a few years at a good price and really benefit the team if he can step up and do that. Same with Tendo, though, if he came from last year, because last
Yeah.
year's draft class was basically non-existent. If it wasn't for like the undrafted free agent Cater Kohu coming in, it was almost like we didn't get much production out of anyone last year. So it'd be good to see these guys step up to the plate and hit a home run.
Mhm.
You know, with that class, Chris Greer, sometimes you say he fell in the 2020 class,
Right.
but me personally, we still got to figure that out. If Tua works, I'm okay with the 2020 class.
Right.
But for what had happened in the 2020 class, he better had passed this last class with Eric Izukama, Channing Tindall. If none of them work out, then I don't know. I don't think we should keep Chris Greer. I know we
Yeah.
got Jalen Waddle, Jalen Phillips, but
Yeah, no, I
with
mean
the
he hit on Kristen Wilkins in his first, but he hits some, but he loses a lot, and it's I don't know, it's just not good. And, when other teams like the
Well,
Eagles keep on filling in with, I think Kansas City didn't play like 10 rookies on their team last year in the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
It's like so there's like no excuse. Like you go out there and you win with what you have, and it's just like it's just like we're not drafting well enough. It seems. You agree there, Hank? We need to just draft more consistent.
Yeah, you definitely need to draft more consistent. I mean, we've been on this roller
Yeah.
coaster ride
Yeah.
just way too much. Way
Mhm.
too much. We need some nice level smooth running.
Yeah. No, I
no, I
agree
agree.
because
You're right, Hank.
And I
Yeah.
could, and it's easy for me to say because I could get into this is going to be way too old of a movie for you to know, George, but Back to the Future, get into my DeLorean and travel back in time. So it's easy for me to say this now. But if Chris Kerr had, drafted better in 2020, I'm not even saying
Mhm.
say Tua, he still picks Tua. But instead of an Austin Jackson reaching for him, grab a receiver. No one, Justin Jefferson's sitting right there, man. You drive him for boom, he's still there when you pick Austin Jackson. So then you don't even have to make a trade for Tyreek Hill giving up a
That's
number one
right.
because you already got your number one receiver. Now you got
Mhm.
that pick to use for someone else. And yes, I love Tyreek on the team, but you wouldn't need to give him a bag of money right away and a draft pick. You bring in a Justin Jefferson who balled
Yeah.
as a rookie and still kicking butt. So it's just that would have been. It's just I know it's hindsight and all that's 2020. And
Yeah,
then you go
you never
down
know.
later.
Yeah,
I know you just don't know, but they're paid to make decisions, and we needed receivers. And we needed
true,
offensive
true,
line
true,
too.
true,
But man, if you got
true.
Justin Jefferson to him, team him with two of that first year. I mean, that's a great combination.
Yeah.
So and it's just like
Yeah.
again, it really, really, yeah, the gigawatts. That's what the back
1.21.
that's the back to the. But anyway, so to me, it's just like draft better. Then you don't have to give the Bradley Chubbs the big money. You don't have to give the Tyreek Hills and the Armsteads big money because then you're drafting from within. And then yes, every team will fill in a free agent here and there, but it's not like I got to get a Chubb. I got to get an Armstead and I got to
Well,
get a Hill. There's three big
you're you're
salaries,
you're
It's like,
absolutely right, Rob. That's a good point. Basically, what Chris Greer is doing there, he's covering for his mistakes.
Exactly.
That's what
Exactly.
he's
yeah,
doing.
Mhm.
yeah, no, he is for sure.
Yeah.
So out of the quarterback talk, I think we all got but you don't know yours though, Gigi. I'll go back to you before I ask Hank a question.
Mhm.
What have you seen? The little bit you saw yesterday, like what quarterback stood out to you yesterday that you thought did well?
I mean, you know, Tua, he's QB number one. You
Right,
know,
of course we know that, yeah.
Mhm.
But I mean, as far as what they looked like throwing the ball yesterday, who stood out to you?
I don't know, like with Skyler and Mike White, they look very similar out there. When they both go in, they could run the same plays with both of those guys. So
Yeah,
sometimes I couldn't even tell the difference between both of them, but for the most part, I would say like Mike White looked a little bit more like polished. Sometimes you'll see Skylar Thompson throw, the ball comes out a little wobbly or whatnot. But most of the time when Mike White he throwing is a little bit more on point, looks a
Hmm.
little
yeah,
bit more like cleaner, a little bit more smooth than
Hmm.
Skyler. I know this is Skyler's second year in the system, but this is Mike White, what, fifth year in the league?
yeah,
Is it his fifth
Yeah,
yeah.
year?
I think
Well, I know
so.
he
I'm
was
not too
drafted
sure.
by Dallas in
Oh,
fourth
was
or
he?
yeah, he was drafted by Dallas, spent a couple, I think, years in that organization, and then got his playing time with the Jets, basically.
Jets.
Oh,
But
okay. I didn't know it was in his fifth year. That's news to me. But
I
Mhm.
wow,
don't know.
I
We,
didn't
we
know
can look
that.
it up. He's been around. He's been around for a few years already. I can look it up real quick to confirm. But yeah, he's been around for a while. Definitely has more experience. But Skyler did get the playoff,
Mhm.
start. So
Yeah, yeah,
hopefully,
yeah.
I'm right. I'm with George and on that Skyler may make the bigger, some sexy plays that everyone's like, oh, wow. But then the very next play, like today, he went through an interception. So you can't be that inconsistent. You know, you
Right.
need to be a little. And
Right.
Mike White, he may never make. Yesterday, he did throw a beautiful ball to Waddle. Though. I mean, it was like he couldn't have handed it to Waddle down the field
Yeah,
better.
I
The
saw
guy,
that.
he
Yeah.
was like, I mean, he just dropped it in there. Like, I was like, I couldn't believe he dropped it in there. And, you know, because Waddle was actually covered pretty well, and he just dropped the ball where only Waddle could get it, and Waddle caught it. And it was really, really good throw and made the place go bonkers yesterday. So, but with that said, now, Hank, we already had your quarterback and all that kind of stuff. So, in Fangio, are you looking in like Fangio really making the defense step up and be a lot better? Where do you see? Do you see us as a top 10 NFL defense or a top 50? How about top 15 defense? Do you see the Dolphins as a top 15 defense this year in rankings?
What were we ranked last year? 24?
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like 24, somewhere around there.
yeah,
I'm not positive, but 24. And they say on average a Vic Fangio led defense goes up at least 10 slots
right. Yeah,
from where
that's
they were. So that puts us at 14 right there.
Right.
Now you
right.
add the talent that we have on board. That adds a few more. So I have us in a top 10 defense. When you look at everything we have, the only reason I don't have us in a top 5 is because of our lack of depth on the defensive line.
Right. No,
And
that makes sense.
if we had more depth on our defensive line that I knew that the team trusts in and believes in, you know, I don't know what Vic Fangio knows, you know, right now, and none of us do. We don't know who they have who the backups are going to be. It's not in cement yet, you know. So I just hope that they wind up with somebody really good on the team as a backup because, you know, sooner or later somebody on that front line gets hurt. Those are some big boys. So, you know, battling up there, it takes a lot of power. So,
Oh no, it does because last year in all the NFL is like we had two of the top 5 guys snap count wise on the defensive line both played for the Dolphins. Wilkins and Sealer had the highest snap counts among all the defensive tackles, interior defensive linemen in the league. So and why? Because that's like we don't they probably don't feel comfortable with anyone else coming in there that much. While King Davis was the probably is our next guy up. Maybe Gigi who follows, some. It's your turn, real quick, Steve, and then I let he follows
Oh,
all the drafts. So, what do you think? What Hank just said about the defensive
um,
line depth?
no, that's a fair point. I believe they'll be in the top 12.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I believe. I hope.
Yeah,
I mean, if they can be top 5, even better. But I'm thinking they're going to be somewhere in that top 12 this year.
yeah. No, that'd be good. I agree with Hank. The weakest part of the defense is lack of depth at the defensive, interior defensive line and maybe the linebackers. But overall, even with the Jalen Ramsey injury, which
Mm-hmm.
stunk and was horrible, was bad news. At least at defensive back, it's with the one position. And then he went and sound. I haven't even asked you guys about your take on Eli Apple. Steve, since I asked you last, and then I go to George and
Sure.
then Hank.
No, I think look, Eli Apple, if you remember the game he played against Tyreek in Kansas City and stopped him at the goal line from catching the pass. So I think
Yeah,
I think once he catches on to the system, I think he's going to be a good piece, a role player. He's going to come in at specific times and a good depth piece as well. I mean, I knew they were going to Fangio. This is Fangio. This isn't Greer. Fangio said, "Hey, I need somebody else to fill in for Ramsey." So this is a Vic Fangio pick.
yeah, they
So
moved quick too. I give them
and they
credit for
moved
moving.
quick on that. Yeah. So I like him. I like him. I think he didn't have a really good year last year, but previous years he's a solid player. I think he's a solid player, and he can fill a role in this defense.
No, I agree with that. And then I think Fangio was make schemes where his weaknesses aren't exposed as some of the other, you know, defensive coordinators we've had in the past. So that's what I'm hoping for too. So George, back to you now. Before we get Eli Apple talk, what's your take on the defensive line, the interior defensive line? Do you agree that we're a little lacking depth there?
Yes, I really do agree with that. And I also see the last two teams who made the Super Bowl. They have so much depth on the defensive line. Eagles. We already see what they have right now. They got Nolan Smith, Josh Sweat. Brandon Graham. It's just too much people down there in the Chiefs. They got George Karlaftis. They got
Yeah.
Carlos Dunlap. They got Chris Jones. They got Tarleton. They got just so much depth. So we gotta follow the models that
Of the good
these
teams.
of the good teams. But I
Yeah.
don't see it on our team. That's why I don't think we are top 10. We're probably top 10 fringe, like top 12 type of defense, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it's funny on the defensive interior defensive line today. It's it was funny. The kid from USC, Pilly or whatever his name, he made a good play and he was like celebrating, and the coach did like the other guy did a bad play. He did a good play, and he was like celebrating and looked at the fans and kind of went, and the coach got in his face and said, "Don't do that." He shook his head and told him to go get back. So. So it was funny because he did. He blew up. If it would have been a running back play, if it's a running play, and he blew it up, and he would have been able to destroy the. They don't go all out killing him like they would in a game, but he let it know, and he hit, and the guy fell still, so he got up. And then the coach got in his face and told him to go get back in the line.
He forgot. He forgot it was practice.
Yeah, exactly. So hey, but he's an undrafted rookie, man.
Hey,
Let's
we'll see. When like
Ramsey
Hank
Howard,
says,
Smith,
once they play in no preseason games, we'll really see what they can do.
Yeah. So Scotty says Ramsey, Howard Smith, Kohu, Needham. Hopefully he comes back sooner than later. Trill at CB. I'm not cutting any of these guys for Apple. So Scotty, I'm sorry, that's what Scotty said. George, DG Live here on YouTube. What do you say of that? Where do you put Apple in the current rankings of the Dolphins cornerbacks?
Man, I'll put him at fifth or sixth. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Because I did some research on Eli Apple this morning, and
Yeah.
his highest PFF grade throughout all of his years was a 53, and that's bad. He's been in the league for a long time.
Right.
He got drafted by the Giants. They
Mhm.
let him go. I think no, he got traded to the Saints. He was there for a little bit. Sean Payton ended up not liking him. They the 5th-year option, they just declined it. Then he ended up being a free agent, went to the Panthers. They let him go the same season.
Oh
Then
wow.
then he found some stability with the Bengals. He stayed there, but he wasn't. Sometimes he'll make a play here and there. He'll
Yeah,
cover the number one receiver.
yeah,
He'll make a play here and there, but
right.
sometimes he gets burnt.
Yeah.
Sometimes he get burnt. So and he's on the Miami Dolphins right now. But I like Nick Needham over him, Kader Kohu, Xavier Howard, Cam Smith. I like all those guys over him.
Yeah.
Noah, we already know Noah. No,
But
know,
Noah's been playing really well in this defensive scheme. Believe it or not.
hey,
Yeah. Hey.
we'll see. We'll see. I don't know how
Yeah,
much
we're
quarterback we're keeping.
Seeing's
saying.
believing for that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I agree with you, but I'm just saying, in it's practice. I got it, but they're saying that he seems like he's very comfortable in this scheme.
No, that'd
That's
be
good,
good.
though.
That's
Yeah.
very good because
Yeah,
that means
they did.
that would help out the Chris Greer because remember he was a top pick. So if
Yeah.
he can if he can excel in this defense, that's only a win for Chris Greer
Right.
and
Oh,
us
later in
as a
camp,
fan base as Dolphins.
The only reason, Rob, the only reason I think that they brought Eli Apple along is in case anybody else gets hurt too.
Mhm.
Because
You're right.
I just don't think he's that good. Like everybody on the panel's already said, he
Right.
hasn't had this spectacular career.
Right.
And I think that it's not going to change.
Right.
The only thing that might change his trajectory on his career right now would be Vic Fangio. Okay.
Right.
Now, can Vic Fangio get something out of him that nobody else has been getting out of him on a consistent basis where he's not getting burnt? That's my question, And if he can, great. He's great as a backup.
Right.
But
Yeah.
he's not our starter. No, not
Yeah.
in my opinion. I mean, not when you have 3 or 4 other people that can fill in.
No, I agree.
I agree with
I
Hank too. He's not a starter for sure. Like I said, he's a solid player, and he'll probably have a role in the defense. But here again, Nick Needham hasn't dressed yet. He's working out on the sideline, but he's not. I mean, not dressed, but he hasn't played at all or participated in practice. So
No,
we don't
he is
know. We
not.
don't know how he's and Trill Williams the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So,
He was actually in the red jersey today, like,
yeah,
like
non-contact.
injured or go soft. He was out there. He was doing drills, but not
Right.
any contact drills or anything like that.
So we don't
So,
know.
that's his problem, unfortunately. He hasn't
Brandon
stayed.
Jones as well.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah,
thing,
no, you're right.
the thing with Eli Apple, I don't think they brought him in and promised him a spot on the team automatically. He not that good. He's okay,
Right.
So.
And he did start 15 games for the Bengals last year, and they were a Super Bowl contender. So I mean, at least he's played in big moments and big games. So he has, he has that on his side. And I agree with something Hank kind of touched on. I think it's more of learning from last year because we got a defensive back hurt last year. We're like, oh, okay, we're deep there. Then the next thing you know, oh, Byron Jones isn't coming. Oh my God, now we got down. We're this. Before you know it, we were like,
We didn't have anybody.
we didn't have anyone picking guys off, So I think this year they said, let's move ahead. We already got one guy hurt the second day of camp, basically. So let's move in. Let's not get to where we were last year, where we have no one to even play the position, whether they're good or not. We're like, they got in a bad position. So maybe they learned from that. They went out there and said, hey, let's get this.
They didn't waste any time, like you said.
No, I was
They
surprised.
wasted no time. So
McDaniel did say in his press conference, and then I let you go, Steve. McDaniel did say in his press conference that they would be trying out cornerback. So I thought, okay, they will be, but they must have already tried him out because I'm telling you, like the next day, Eli Apple was signed to the Dolphins,
and he was participating in practice. He signed on Sunday, and on Monday he was playing, but in practice. But he does bring it. He definitely brings a veteran presence to the defensive backfield and experience. Playoff and experience as well. So
and
that's got it. That's a little something he brings to the table.
That speaks volumes. Experience goes a long way.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, he was the second quarterback in the year that Jalen Ramsey came out. He was the first cornerback taken in that draft, and Eli Apple was the next cornerback taken in that draft. And now he's coming in to fill for him. He hasn't had the career Ramsey. Ramsey's right up there, Hall of Fame career, and obviously Eli Apple's not at that level. But I thought that was a Barry Jackson treat. So I'm going 100% on his information that's how the draft went that year. That it was they both came out the same year, and that Ramsey was the first cornerback taken, and then Eli Apple was also in the first round, but the next cornerback off the board. So, hey, they both have good pedigree. Hopefully, he steps up. Maybe he improved a little bit last year, but DG just said that he's never had a great PFF. It's not the all end all be all.
He's been in the league a long time, and if he hasn't made he played 15 games last year, but if he hasn't made any noise by then. He probably never will. But again, he brings a veteran presence, and he's solid, and he's probably going to have a role. But he's got to earn it. He's got to earn it for sure.
No, he does. Hey, he was good enough to get Tyreek Hill Stinson in the press conference last night. That interview leading up to the game, that viral video that went around him saying, I owe you, Apple. I owe you.
That put him on the map, right?
Unfortunately, we lost that game, but, I think Tyreek Hill did okay in that game. That was just a bad game because all I remember is Tua getting hurt in that game. So that's the main thing that stuck in my mind for that game. How about you, George?
I mean, Tyreek Hill, he did score in that game. I think he had did he get 100?
He had over 160 yards in that game.
Yeah, and he balled out against Eli Apple.
Yeah, 10 catches for 160 yards or something like that.
Yeah, so there you go. So we still lost. So hey, now he's finally on the same team. For whatever reason, he couldn't beat Apple and stuff. So hey, but just like in that quarterback series,
here's one thing. that I did notice about Eli Apple. Like when t- when Jalen Ramsey got hurt, I was looking at the cornerback market to see who would be available. And
Yeah.
I seen two of his former cornerbacks with the Broncos, Ronald Darby and Bryce Callahan. I thought we was going to bring either one of those guys in the building, but they decided to go with Eli Apple, the person who had a problem with Tyreek Hill. So they probably have some faith in him to work in this type of offense, no type of defense.
Defense. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so he picked another guy instead of his own guys from last year. And the Denver Broncos, they had a good defense last year with Pat Surtain, Ronald Darby,
Yeah.
Bryce Callahan, and it's the same system. So they would have just came in, knew all the plays, but they still went with Eli Apple. So that should be some faith in them.
Maybe
Hopefully,
maybe maybe it was a business decision. Monies.
Yeah,
probably.
it could be. It
So,
could be,
but
but
that's a good
hopefully,
point. That's a good point, DG.
Mhm.
yeah. I don't know. All I heard, it seems like I've been off social media for the most part today. But last I seen, it doesn't seem like Delvin Cook's coming here as more or less, but it could change. But Steve, you told me he actually was up there with the Jets and everything, and was at one of their
Yeah,
practices.
yeah, but yeah, that can change, man. I
Yeah,
mean, but he's the Jets put handcuffs on him, and I think they've chained him in, chained him in or chained him with a ball and chain or something because they're not letting him leave.
Nope.
You know,
yeah,
so
yeah. No, it's,
he's looking. I'm pretty sure that he's got a good offer from the Jets. I've heard 8-10 million. Who knows, but that's what I've heard.
yeah. What do you any? Where do you, I know Hank? You wanted him, but do you still stand that way, or do you? I know the main thing is you don't want to see him on the Jets. I know, and that's going to be the worst part.
Man, if he's on the Jets, Miami's going to feel that.
Mhm.
Miami will feel that. Trust me.
Yeah.
You
Oh
know,
no, for sure, because he's going to be
he's
motivated to
he's
play.
clocking over 1,000 yards for the past 5 seasons or something like that. Past 4 seasons.
About 4 seasons. Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
you can't deny a guy like that. He's going
No,
to be
no, for sure.
trouble. He'll be trouble. I wish he
I
was
have a
on our
question.
team rather than the Jets, but money comes into it, and so do contracts, and they have to do what they got to do.
Yeah.
I got a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you guys seen how Jonathan Taylor he requested a trade. Do you think Miami Dolphins should use him as bait for Dalvin Cook to be like, man, let me hurry up and sign with the Dolphins before they try to do something with Jonathan
Yeah,
Taylor and
if they
Cole?
really, yeah, they could use that as leverage.
You
But
know.
like Cap pointed out, he made use as leverage. Look at all these guys getting hurt, because Cap said teams are losing running backs like crazy. So
Mhm.
some team may just come in and blow his doors off of a great offer. So, but I do agree that could give if the Dolphins just pretend to be interested in Taylor, it could
Mhm.
drop the price for Cook. And before I forget, hey, Finn's take with CB83. He has
Was
another
good,
good
CB.
channel, and DG is on his show at times as well. So he does
Hmm.
good stuff over there. Make sure you run over there after our show and give him a good thumbs up and follow over there. And yes, thank you there. Thank you. Hit the like button here too if you're just getting in the room. Thank you so much.
Hmm.
And then Cap for Life giving you some kudos there. And let's see. He left without signing, so how do the Jets have? Well, what I mean, yeah, I know what he means. Obviously, he left without signing, but I know what Steve means. So that they made it very clear that they want him there, and
Hmm.
they had him
Yeah.
and watching practice. They had him walking around the facility, give him the tour, just like we would do if he comes here. I'm sure, we would give him the grand tour. But I think you're meaning that kind of keeping the cuffs on him in that they're giving him a better offer than what the Dolphins are giving
Yeah,
him, I
like I
think.
said, I've heard 8-10 million. So
Yeah. Well, if he
I
gets
don't I
that,
don't
I
think
think even
I don't think
yeah,
Miami's going to make him that offer. Hell, we already gave Eli Apple $3 million deal, so now
yeah.
we're down to 10 million. So
No, I know,
and
and I
Cap,
I think you need, and that's what McDaniel said during the two that you always need. Oh, sorry, I missed on. I try to get all you guys. They're sneaking in there. Thank you, Mr. Rook, for coming in. Dakota Rook, thank you. Let's go Dolphins for sure. Fins up, and thank you for coming in and joining us today. That's awesome. But yeah, no, I'm with you, Steve. It's just you have to have some money going into the season because you saw last year you have to people are going to get hurt, and you want to be able to go out and get someone to come in. And obviously, if they're on the street at the, when the season's already going, they're not going to be a premium talent, but you still need someone to come in and play a certain position. You need that money to bring them in and be able to fill out the roster, and you need practice squad money. You need all that kind of stuff. Those little things starts adding up against the cap, so you need all of that good stuff. So you definitely don't want to be up to the cap. Plus, next year we're already going to be really up against the cap, Hank. If I'm not mistaken, and you can roll over any money that you don't spend this year into next year's cap to give you a little more space next year. Isn't that right, Mr. Hank?
I am not a cap guy. I wish I was. I was.
Hey, but I think that's right, Steve? You can roll over what you don't spend this year into next year's cap, correct?
That's true. That is true. But here, I wanted to make this one more point about our running back room that we have.
My bad, Rob. My brain just isn't as good as Steve's.
McDaniel.
Wants to know where are you getting these numbers? He hasn't heard anywhere near 10 million for Cook.
I heard that, and I can't quote where I heard it, but I did hear it, and I'll do the research and find out. But I know they were talking about 8 or 10 million or something in that neighborhood.
Right.
What I was going to say about McDaniel, he's comfortable with the running back room that we have. He went out and drafted A-Chain, right? That's a McDaniel pick.
Yeah.
Mostert was a McDaniel pick. He got him from San Francisco. Jeff Wilson, that was a McDaniel want. He wanted Jeff Wilson. So he wanted those 3 guys. And 2 of the guys played last year with us. They got good chemistry going on. And mind you, they were 12th in the NFL yards per carry. 4.8 or 4.9 yards per carry. So
and I like the running back room. I've said all along that Cook's been a luxury. He would be a luxury signing. I know the young man wants to come here and play for the Dolphins because he's a South Florida kid. And if all things were equal, he would come to play for the Miami Dolphins. But to me, at the end of the day, he's not a luxury. I mean, he is a luxury. He's not a huge need. I mean, of course,
he's only a luxury until he's on an opposing team, though. All right. So, how much you want to pay him to not be on the Jets is the question.
That's the point. That's the point, right?
I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where are you standing out on the whole Cook thing,
you see
George?
That, DG? I don't say much too often, but when I say it, there's something to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I thought that one.
Yeah.
There's something to that bird feeder.
So, George, where do you stand now?
Hey, don't get me in trouble with Rob.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
So, DG, where do you stand on the whole Cook thing? At this point, with all you know now that he's gone up there to see the Jets, that we looking pretty good at running back.
I mean, with the Cook thing, I feel like we good in the running back room. I'm gonna wait to see Hard Knocks. They told me that Cook will be on the Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
I seen a little clip of like the Jets fans screaming, "We want Cook" or something like that.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Yeah, they gave him the red carpet over there. So, but he still ain't signed. Even after all that, he still
didn't sign. So,
So,
you never know.
Yeah, and then when I was at practice yesterday, I even see Myles Gaskins taking reps, and out of all the RBs, I'm thinking he's the one who's going to get cut, and he's getting touches. So, and Savon Ahmed, I know everybody likes him.
Oh yeah, I like Ahmed.
I don't know where we're gonna find space if we're using Myles Gaskins. Maybe we wasting his time, or maybe Mike McDaniel. You probably see that all 5 of these running backs gonna make the roster. That's why.
Yeah. Well, for sure, Moser, Wilson, A-Chain. That's 3 for sure. Mm-hmm. And then definitely between Gaskin. I think all of them will make the team if maybe.
It's possible.
Because there's no way or Gaskins, like you said, will be the odd man out, maybe, or Achman, but I like Achman because he's a little more speedier and but Gaskins always does okay. I mean, he's a 7th round draft pick. You can't complain. The guy always comes in, performs when he has to. He's never going to be that guy that's going to bust a 60-yard run for it. That's just not his game. But he can get you some yards here and there. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. So, it's hard to say, but I would think it would come down with the addition now of A-Chain onto the team. I mean, he's a lock. We got 3 locks on the team as it stands right now. Now, if they sign Cook, one of those locks may not be a lock because they may try to flip them or do something like that. But right now as we stand, there's no way that Jeff Wilson's not making the team, Mozart's not making the team, A Chain. So those guys for sure. And then it comes down like George said, if it's one spot for those guys, it's either going to be Gaskin or Ahmed.
Ahmed played with McDaniel too. Don't forget.
Oh yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah,
about that one.
So there you go, man. So maybe it could. Oh yeah.
So when they
he's just
bring
saying,
Cook
like,
in, so when they
three
bring
running
Cook
backs
in, they're
and
going to get
Ingo.
rid of Gaskin. Is that what you're
Yeah,
telling me?
Ingo would make the team. It's just, you're right though. That would count. But three running backs, I just can't see them only keeping, because that would only be like, Mozart, Wilson, A Chain, and Ingold. But Ingold, like,
Oh yeah, we forget about Ingold as well. He's
he
a
does.
fullback.
Scotty brings up a good point, man. Now he
Yeah.
got me touching my head here, like, man. But no, he's right.
But we're really working, like, from what I've seen. Okay, thank you, Cap. That's what's up. But from what I've seen at practice, we probably gonna be using a lot of our running backs. I see A Chain motioning a lot. I seen Miles Gaskins flaring out a lot, catching balls. Savon Ahmed, he getting touches. Devon A Chain, he's splitting time with Raheem Mostert for that first string spot. Then after that is whoever they think is probably like the best running back that should be in there. Like if we need like a few yards, you'll probably see Jeff Wilson in there. Or if you want to just like get the other guys some touches, like Ahmed or Gaskins, just let them get like 5 touches a game and see what they could do with that 5 touches.
Cat for Life had a good question. Why is Jeff Wilson not practicing? I don't know. I haven't heard anything about an injury with him, so I don't know what the deal is.
I read in Barry Jackson, he was told it's something minor, nothing serious.
Okay.
It's like kind of precaution at this point early in the camp to keep him out, but it was not disclosed. The Dolphins don't, or no team really, like disclosing injuries because it's a
here's
something.
Here's something from left field that's coming from left field. Smythe was playing slot. He was in the slot.
That's crazy.
I don't know if you noticed that, but he was in the slot.
They did line him up a couple of times. They will do that with the tight end for different looks every time. Of course, there's Gesicki. That's like normal stuff. They would line him out wide.
Well, I can
or
see
whatever,
him. I can see him in the slot, but Smythe.
Yeah.
Did he get targets? He got targets.
I think he did. If I'm not mistaken, am I wrong on that, Rob? I thought I saw him get a pass.
He did get some pass, but I don't know if he got it from the slot or the tight end. To be honest,
I think it was when he was lined up in the slot, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but they're going to throw different looks out there. They love doing different things. Get some of the people to think about. And then he's saying 3Q. This is Scotty, and he's normally on point about a lot of this stuff. He comes into here a lot.
Maybe he was in motion.
Scotty, thank you so much. Our 25 offense is 3 QBs, 3 running backs, 1 fullback, 6 receivers, 4 tight ends, 8 offensive linemen. It's pretty standard. Yes, I agree with you on that. For definitely 100%, it's going to be 3 quarterbacks with the new rules. So that's a 100% guaranteed. Then it just depends how you divide up the running back room. Like, are you going to go all running backs and no fullback? Or are you going to go?
I think Ingle's going to be a fullback. I think McDaniel likes to use his fullback.
Oh, no, he's definitely a fullback. So
I think that Gaskins or Ahmed, they might be on the practice squad. They're still eligible for that.
There's no way Ahmed would be taken up in a heartbeat if you try to get him on the practice. There's no way you're going to get.
So
Ahmed
then he's not going to be on the practice squad. So it looks like Gaskins might be on the practice squad.
Yeah, I mean, you could make some moves and they've gotten a lot more liberal with who can be on the practice squad, because it used to be like if they played too many games, they weren't allowed to be on the practice squad. But the whole COVID thing, they allowed all, and they kind of lacked some of those rules. So I don't know exact if he would meet those qualifications still. But yeah, he wouldn't be as picked up quick as, there's no way A Chain you can move. There's no way, and every team put him in the waiver claim for A Chain.
No. A Chain's got a role on this team for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So basically, I would think Mozart for sure, A Chain for sure. Maybe I won't go as far as saying Jeff Wilson for sure. Then because then you have to. I don't know. It's good. It's going to be fun, Scotty. If you're going to get closer to us, come back when you're in the closer to the camp, and then we would definitely know.
I think
So,
Jeff Wilson would be the odd man out.
Mm.
yeah, no, he could be now,
He has the
or
most trade value.
yeah, or it could be one of these little convenient injuries that they're going to say, oh, he's injured, and he's going to go on, a list that maybe he can come back
Yeah.
later in the season if other people start getting hurt or whatever. You never know because we will see. Tua, White, Skyler, AJ, Mozart, Wilson, Ingle, Hill, Waddle, EZ, and Burrios, Anderson, Wilson, Smite, Sobert, Connor, Higgins, Armstead, Wynn, Connor. I love this. Hunter, AJ, and then Feeney and Lamb. So AJ being Austin Jackson, of course, and then Eichenberg being in there. So, what do you guys think? It's an early take. I don't think any of those names are way out there.
I feel like
it's
we're
gonna
going
be.
I think we're going to keep more running backs because of the 49ers system. That's how they
Yeah.
do it over there. And I noticed that we replicate a lot of the things that they did with the 49ers, that's what I think. At least 4 running backs, not 3.
Well,
Yeah.
with the exception of tight end, which I think I don't think we're going to keep. I think we'll keep 3 tight ends. I don't think we're going to keep 4 tight ends on the
Maybe
roster.
that's where they would.
Mhm.
That's where maybe they would
Exactly.
play.
Mhm.
Now, can you see Higgins as another guy? I think if you try to dump
I-
him,
I
he's
think
another guy that's going to be picked up.
I think it's either you keep Higgins or Connor because they two of
Yeah.
the similar players.
Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that could be, and then that's where they can make extra room
Yeah.
on the.
And I know I haven't heard much on Connor. I mean, I know Connor is he still in pub?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
I think he is. But I saw Elijah Higgins made a nice catch today.
Oh yeah, he did too. He did
Made
too.
a real nice catch.
Yeah,
I seen that one.
that he did.
That's a
And
positive.
yes,
Yeah.
I agree with you, Cap for life. Easy is getting more play, but Cedric Wilson will make the team just from contract. Because I think you take a $7 million, you're going to pay him like $7 million no matter what this year, whether he's on your team or not. You take the full hit if he's not. So you might as well keep him on the team. Now, if you can trade a trade partner, then that changes things. Then the other team takes on his contract.
Well,
and then
if Easy E can show up, not just in practice, but if he can, which he has been, if he can show up in the preseason games like he did last year, and Cedric Wilson is playing like on an even par with Easy, I don't know, man. I think you keep Easy E and you try to do something with Cedric Wilson. I don't care what you do with him. Just if you
Yeah.
keep Easy E and try to trade him or I don't know. But they're not going to keep 7 wide receivers on the roster. They're not.
And I don't think any of those you would be able to sneak on to the practice squad of all those people he mentioned.
Exactly.
So it's hard, man. Just to see it, but it means we're getting to be a better team. Yes, I agree. Trading set is a must to be. The roster is important. I
agree, Scotty.
I think they will. They'd say they're not shopping him or whatever, but darn well if someone calls and says anything, they would take it. As long as you eat the whole contract and
Broncos.
The Broncos. That'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah, because they just lost one of their receivers. He tore his ACL.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
Right.
Another one of his receivers have a heart condition, so he's not going to be able to play. KJ Hamler.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So they're kind of thin right now.
That.
Yeah. So they're having it rough.
Yes, he did, Daniel. Yes, he did. So were you out there today, Daniel, or you heard? I was actually out there, but it was cool. Daniel always comes in here with the great stuff. But yes, he did do that. As Steve, you also that mentioned. Don't worry, I did hear you, Steve. So let's see. I legit, when I talk about 53, so many fans say, "Oh, he's making the team," but when you actually count it, I know it's easy because we're all like, "Oh, he's making the team. He's making the team." And then when you start adding up,
we want everybody. We want everybody to make the team.
Wait a minute, who are we getting rid of?
I got 70 people making the team. Oh man, so yeah. Hey, I just wish they could have that whole roster.
Exactly.
Injury wouldn't be. Wow, that's stepping up. That's what George has been calling for. That's what he hopes. I don't know if he's calling for it, but that's what he's hoping right
to be number 3.
I'm calling for it right now. I'm calling for it right now.
All
All
right.
right.
I can see it. I can see it.
I can see it, bro. I seen Eric Izukama compared to Cedric Wilson. Completely different, bro. Like
Yeah.
Cedric Wilson, he was getting locked down, but he was getting locked down by like regular players, like people
How's
that
Chosen been doing?
chosen. After contact, I don't think he does too well. He gotta have like a free release for him to like work. You know,
Because
Yeah.
that
He's
that's
more of
who,
a
that's
more of
who
a straight
Eazy-E needs
line
to
receiver.
beat out.
mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah,
who
that's
Eazy-E needs to beat out, in my opinion.
No, you're probably right,
Well,
Hank.
guys, they say
Eric.
all good things come to an end. We're about to wrap this up. I'm going
All
to go
right.
around the horn and let you guys all say where they can find you. Hank, I'm going to go reverse horn here because I've been ignoring you some tonight. So, Hank, tell us where they can find you.
You can find me and you can find Steve on the Fins Talk Sports Network. I'm there on Thursday nights on the Fins bandwagon at 8 o'clock. I'm also there at 12 noon on Saturdays with Bobby. So that's where you can find me. Those are the times. And I just want to say Fins up.
Thank you. Now, George, you're up, DG Live. Tell them where they can find you. Your name says it all, but tell them where they can find you.
You guys could find me at DG Live on Instagram, on Twitter, and also on YouTube as well. I got a lot of content coming out. I'll be out there this Friday and Saturday, so I'll have some content out there as well. I'll be collabing with some people out there, making a few connections. So I'll see Hank out there.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too. I'm gonna notice that car from a mile away.
Yeah.
You'll know where to find me. How's that?
There you go. All you got to do is stand by your car, Hank. They won't miss
Everyone would
you.
know you, Hank. And yes, Cal Krabs brings some good stuff, Daniel. I listen to his Locked On Dolphins at times too. He was out there at camp the past few days himself. So that's pretty cool. And well, you all know where you can find me because guess what? You've already found me here on Dolphins Thirsty, but I also have dolphinthirsty.com. Just a little warning, the information won't pour out as fast the next couple of days as I'm finally taking a road trip with the family, long overdue, going up to catch a baseball game in Atlanta on Wednesday, and then we're catching some other stuff along the way. But I always catch out Dolphin Thirsty, and you'll get good, fun Dolphin trivia, good, fun Dolphins information, and always fun stuff to talk about the Miami Dolphins. Steve, Hank already gave you a little bit of a promo.
He did.
Outside of course, here on Dolphins Thirsty, that they can also find you. Where else can they find you?
Well, like Mr. Hank said, they can find me on the Fins Talk Sports Network. Real Talk, Fins Talk is my show. Well, it's yours and I's show, Ron.
I'm your co-host there.
You're my
in
co-host
the
there.
chair over there.
Yeah.
GG Live joined us a couple weeks ago on that very same show, so that was cool.
That's right.
So,
yep. And you can find us at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday nights. I know, Rob, you're going on a road trip this week. So Bobby Melendez, our founder and producer of Fins Talk Sports Network, will be filling in on your spot tomorrow night. So you can catch me there tomorrow night. And
all right, that's good,
Bobby.
So George, I was going to draft you if Bobby could. I was going to say, hey, can you go fill in for me tomorrow night? But they got the producer, but you can go watch them, George. Make sure you go watch them.
You're welcome to join us, Hank and DG Live. You're welcome to join us tomorrow night if you'd like. So
yeah,
okay. Around what time? It will be.
It's going to be 7:30 Eastern time.
Same as tonight. So. Of course, Hank,
I
you're
get up
all
at 9.
but I know you're Mr. Prime Time now, and you got too many shows, Hank.
I got too many, man. I got too many.
So anyway, gentlemen, with no further ado, man, it's almost Dolphin Thirsty theme song sign. I just have to go. I'm working on my new laptop, so I just got to get used to the buttons here a little bit. But there we go, guys.
Double deuces.
Yeah, hey, fins up, guys, and Steve, come on, give me your patented Dolphins #1, Steve.
Fins up.
All right. Dolphins #1, baby. Dolphins
thirsty, they never show no mercy.
All right.
That was a quick intro.
That was